Thank you for tuning in to the Patricia Show. My name is Dr. Patricia. And we're going to have a really deep 15-minute conversation today. Please press like and subscribe, and then share this audio with someone who you may think need it. Now, I want to talk about God. And you know how people say, God is light, God is love. Now, people say that, but really, in the back of your mind, or on a subconscious level, you're thinking that God is sitting up in heaven on a throne. You have to remove that picture from your mind. Because God is not sitting up on a throne. I had a lady tell me one time that she felt she used to have so much good luck and she felt that God abandoned her. I said to her, how could God abandon you? Do you understand that God is within you? She said, yes, I do understand that. I said, well, then how could he abandon you? I said, usually we abandon God. God cannot abandon you because he's a part of you. She says, I said, you are still thinking of God as sitting up on a throne. She says, oh, no. I am a highly educated teacher, and there is no way that I think that God is sitting up on a throne. I said, subconsciously, you do, and that picture is there. So as we continue to talk and she continued to deny this, and then I asked her, God is light. If you believe God is energy, God is spirit, how can it leave you when it is a part of you? We turn away from God by turning our attention outside of ourselves because God is within us. And we never turn our attention within. We always turn our attention without. So we are turning against God. God is inside of you. Where is he going? He can't abandon you because he ain't going nowhere. Where is he going? He's a part of you. Now, let me say this again, because this is very important, and I'll teach on this at some other point. We all in humanity have turned away from God from the beginning of time. When we used to be on this earth in the days of Lemur, some people call it Lemur, some people call it Mu, we turned our attention within and always connected with that great power within us. And then as time went on, we began to turn outside of ourselves. And when we begin to focus outside of ourselves, we begin to be selfish. Very selfish. That's the number one thing that will disconnect you from your higher self. We begin to become really selfish. So what we have to do on this journey that we are on, we must turn our attention back to our I am self, which is within. And once you turn your attention back into their I am presence, you'll see all type of things happening in your spiritual growth. But that is what you're here to do. Because we lost our way by turning our attention outside of ourselves. And let me give you an example. When somebody say to you, let's say you had to have a major surgery or something. What do people usually do? You usually call your friend. Do you think I should have this surgery? Or you ask your doctor, do you think it's going to be safe to me? Maybe I shouldn't have it. What do you think? Or you going to ask your mother, do you think I should have this surgery? Very few people will sit down in the silence and turn within themselves and say, God, mighty I am. Do you think I should have this surgery? You don't turn within your God. Most of you go to readers to see what's going to happen in your life instead of turning within to say, God, what is next in my life? Or, how do I obtain whatever it is you want? Like if you want money, fame, whatever. God, how do I obtain this fame that I seek? Is this something that's for me in this lifetime? Because it might not be for you in this lifetime. You see what I mean? That's turning within. Now, Christian people, it is very difficult for you to not think of God as on a throne because you've been taught that Jesus is sitting on the right hand of God. So because you've been taught that and you believe that, you think that God is on a throne somewhere. Even if your intelligence is telling you that he's not, your picture subconsciously is saying that he is on this throne because you're thinking that Jesus is on the throne. Another thing, because you believe that Jesus, when you pray, you believe that you have to go through Jesus in order to get to God. You're always, and Jesus, came on this earth as a man. So you're always going to have that. I don't want to say always because you could change it, but you have that picture like God is a man walking the earth. You know what I mean? Because God was here before walking. And so your imagination or your vision of God is that he's human. He's Jesus. He's somewhere with Jesus. What I'm wanting you to do is go within yourself. And when I tell you this, you need to ask. This is one time you need to go within and say, God, please show me if Patricia is correct. Because this is the thing. Now, when you do that, you might not hear nothing the first time. Some people may and some people may not. You have to do things, talk to that power within you several times before it'll answer, because it has to get to the realization like, oh, she's finally coming to me, wanting to talk to me, and then it'll begin to answer you. I'm not saying it said that. I'm just saying if it could talk, it would say that. You know what I mean? It's just like you're talking to the man on the bus. He's not talking back to you. He's listening to everything you're saying. When he gets comfortable with you, then he starts talking back. I'm not saying that God has to get comfortable with you. I'm saying you need to get comfortable with God, to go to him every time you need to ask about something in your life, and eventually you'll hear that voice talking to you. Now, I don't know how it's going to communicate with you. It can communicate with you in the words of a voice, or it can communicate with you in feeling, or you could feel it through your spirit. It communicates with me in all of those ways. A lot of times I'll feel a revelation like in my spirit, I just know it's right. It's like it lights up my spirit and I know it's right, or the answer, yes. And then when I go to that force within and ask a question, like when I used to date God, when I was seriously involved with this guy, I went and asked God, is this somebody who I should marry? Is he good for me? I said, God, let me feel it in my feeling world. So when you ask to let you feel the answer in your feeling world, what happens is that when you least expect it, a feeling is going to come over you so powerful and so strong, you cannot deny it. And that's what happened to me. The feeling came over me so powerful within 48 hours and so strong, you couldn't deny the answer. So practice going within and talking to that power within you, telling it what you want and things like that, help me get whatever I want, teach me X, Y, and Z, whatever it is you want to be taught, things like that. Begin to depend and rely on it for guidance. And when you do that, it will always be there. Now, this is what I want to say in this talk. But I want to make sure I let you know that God is light and love, okay? You've heard that many, many times. But you're not bringing that energy into your life because you're bringing the energy of God on a throne in your life. Because that is the way, everything I just explained, that you see God. What you need to do is begin to see that mighty I am, your Father, as pure light. And when you see it as pure light, then you welcome that light into your world. And then practice opening the door for that light, or filling yourself with light, or surrounding yourself with God's light. Start, I don't want to say playing around with it, but that's, I know you understand it when I say playing around with that light. That is what I want you to do. As we go forward, I will give you more instructions. But this is what you want to do. You want to stop seeing that power, God Almighty, as a human being. Stop seeing God as sitting on a throne, and start seeing him as light. Light that flows through your world, light that flows through everything you do. Even let's say you want a job. Let's say you wanted a job and you're sitting now visualizing the job. You want to bring God into that. What would you do? You would see the light around the job. You would see all the light feeling the job. You would go into the job, see yourself walking into the job, and you're walking in there because you're surrounded with light. And you know that light is the power of God. And so you're going into the building with light. See yourself filled with light. And then make the command of what you want. I demand that I will, or I command that I will receive the job here as a receptionist. So be it, or whatever it is you want. You have to do it with authority. You cannot say, please, God, help me, God, Lord, Lord, help me. The Bible tells you that you have dominion over all things. That means you have the authority. And you don't use the authority that you have. So by having the authority, you need to bring the light into that situation and then command the light to do whatever you want the light to do. That is authority. And like I said, you might not understand, like, what is she talking about? But go read your Bible. Because in there, it states that God gave us dominion over all things. He gave dominion over the birds and the sky. Just give dominion over all things. So if you have dominion, what does that mean? You have to stand in your authority and command whatever you want to happen. See that light. Know that light is the power of God. That light that you're bringing into your home is God. I command this light to fill my home and bring nothing but peace, harmony, and prosperity to my home. So be it. It is done. Stand in your authority. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Patricia Show. Let's talk. Sometimes I say it's the Patricia Show, and sometimes I say it's Let's Talk. Not sure which one I want to use. But thank you so much for tuning in. You have a wonderful, wonderful week.